There's something annoying about this game that I've just discovered, that you can't actually start it from the second disc. If you've got the first one in the drive, when you start it up, then you get this screen. So even if you have a save that's at the start of disc 2, you have to start it up with disc 1, load your save, immediately switch to disc 2. But while I'm doing that, I can at least talk about the chain that we had in the previous episode, which was called Whodunit. So the coin was to represent that copper was valuable because it was used in weaponry, and cash flow was very important in the 16th century to mercenary armies. That brings us to the cannon, which is linked to the bowl because of Francis Drake famously finishing his game of bowls before sinking the Spanish Armada. The English started efforts in building new and more powerful ships after that happened, which had an effect on the glass industry because they also needed wood to make charcoal for fuel for glass furnaces. The mirror, like the omnipotent guardian of mankind James Burke said in the game, is invented because advances in glassmaking allowed the mirror to be precision-made for the first time. That made the sextant possible. There's a video from the television series Behind the Sextant that I couldn't show that tells you how they work. You have to use it to measure the angle from the horizon to two different stars, and you then consult your big book of navigation, and it tells you where you are if you have those two stars at those two angles. Sextant is also used to measure the angle horizontally between pieces of land, which allowed better map making. From there, the next one's a bit of a leap, but in Switzerland, a man who was approximately called Saussure added the use of barometric pressure for being able to map the height of terrain as well, did research on erosion, which proved that the Earth was much older than thought at the time, therefore dinosaur bones. The study of remains and funeral records led Galton to discover hereditary properties of humans and started what he called eugenics, so thanks a lot for that. But thankfully he also discovered a code that makes people unique, which was a way to encode fingerprints as text. Alright, so let's make a start on this. Alright, here we are in part 4, which I completely forgotten, by the way, until I just looked at this screen, because I do remember that we're going to meet Galileo somewhere. I think it's in here, but apart from that, I really don't remember a lot. Ah, there he is.
Darndest thing. I mean, it's one thing if you're looking at the moon. Who cares if the moon is upside down? Oh, hello. You here for a math lesson? I'm afraid I can't be bothered with that right now. It's the darnest thing. Here, look at this.
Galileo was an unknown immigrant from.
Is that the way it's supposed to be? I don't think so. It's the darndest thing. Well, what's this world coming to?
Oh, I've no idea what's going on with your accent. Maybe it came from space. Okay, yeah, so I can see your problem. Alright, first link of the chain is the telescope. Alright, we're gonna have to fix that. We can't talk to him again. We can look at the chest.
Hey, that's my lunch. Don't touch it.
Alright. Ship in a bottle. 2 things already, that's amazing.
It was in a 4-masted sailing ship that Henry Hudson set out in 1609 to search for a northwest passage to the Far East on behalf of a consortium of Dutch traders. In this enterprise, which ultimately proved a failure, Hudson was guided by a map provided by the cartographer Planches. And speaking of guidance, I'll offer some for free. You'll have to come aboard here if you want to make more connections.
I can't fit in the bottle, unlike the master of shape-shifting and historian James Burke. Oh, there was a hand on that. Where'd you...
That's a work in progress. It's a shrinking machine, but it isn't working right now. The timer's broken, and with a shrinking machine, timing is everything. But also, there's got to be a better way to insulate this oscillator. Oh well. Otherwise, it's working fine.
Okay, yeah. So I have actually watched the program that this level was based on before playing it, uniquely. So I know where he's going with that. But We'll see what we can do. Nothing else we can do here for now, so let's head somewhere else. Okay. Let's walk across the road to the cathedral. Okay. Whoa! Alright.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The clock stopped. Someone snuck in here while I was sleeping and moved the gears around. And I can't figure out how to make them right again.
Don't worry, I am a Myst protagonist.
Who could have done such a thing to a pitiful soul like me? Can you help me?
If you insist, alright. Okay, let's see. So, what do I do? Oh, can I just drag them around? I can drag them around, okay. So that goes down to here, that goes down there, that's around, and that's to there. That looks like a small one, that's right! That should do it. Whoa! It's definitely working!
Just in time. Here, take this. I want you to have it. It's adjustable.
What's this? A wrench, okay. Alright, is that all we can do here? I suppose I can look at these nicely spinning gears again, but that's about it. So let's head back down. I just love the aesthetic of the early CD games. They aged very poorly, but in a very specific way, I would say. Okay, what's on there? Nothing much. What's on here? What's on here? High jargon. Well, we need someone who's good at overacting to start saying, "What is a man?" We've got to remember that sequence. Oh, and here comes the Bible from the secret underground James Bond lab where Catholics practice, because I would never have guessed this was a secret Catholic place of worship from looking at it. Bye now. Okay, so that was, what? Nothing. 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 I think I need to fix this organ first. Let's see what else is around the other side. I hear some strange bubbling. Hello? Oh! Power organ. Oh, I need the wrench. That's it. Alright. Water wheel to power the organ. There's our reminder again. It works on evil without the water wheel. Actually, can I fiddle with any of these knobs? No, I can't. So that what note was that? Duh! Alright. I don't want you to think that I've got perfect pitch or anything. That was just a complete guess that I started out on the right note, but the rest of it I could work out fairly easily from there. Alright. This is an illuminated manuscript. Probably the Bible, from context, I'm guessing, because it would be a bit strange if it were Where's Wally? Right, let's have a look. Can I hide it again? Alright. Well, they did take the effort to make a fully working octave on the organ. Okay, I'm getting on with the rest of the adventure now. I won't mess with the organ again. Okay, really, what's in here?
I hope you're not here for this tapestry. It's not quite finished yet.
I don't even know why I'm here.
According to the ancient pattern, that apple was supposed to be a peach. If the dye master finds out, he will kill me.
That was an oddly flirtatious whispering action. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, do I have to re-dye the apple to be a peach? Do I... like that? Hang on, this'll take a while. Is that peachy enough? No. Oh, what are you doing there? Get down off the tapestry. That's expensive. Right, not sure what to do there, so let's go back to the organ. Meanwhile, back at the town, I don't think I've explored here before. Oh no, I can't. So what can I use this magnifying glass for? Oh, maybe... do I need to look at the...
Hello, madam. Welcome back.
Thank you. Do I need to look at the tapestry through a magnifying glass?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's odd that they didn't change the voice for the female versus male main character, isn't it? Because they went to so much effort otherwise. Maybe I can use this for...
Ah, you've been out in the world, and now you have returned. How did you find it? Round or flat? It's just an old joke.
Your voice is just the greatest mystery of them all. Science could be stumped for decades. Let's...
Not yet.
I'm trying to think... can this lens help this...
Not yet.
Can that help his telescope?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I don't really know what to do now, so I suppose I might as well go back to that organ again. Okay, I looked up the hints on how to do this, and I'll show you here. You've got to watch the tapestry chain video, but it doesn't really tell you what you have to do. It just talks about colours being different if they're next to other colours. What you have to do is you have to dither the pattern of red squares into orange, so you've got to create a pattern of alternating red and yellow squares. With me being colourblind, I didn't realise I wasn't already turning these orange, so that was where I fell down. And that's always a problem with colour puzzles, no matter... There we go. It's a shame that it didn't react in real time there. It probably would have been far too difficult to do it, but, you know, just to give you an impression of what you were doing here.
Oh, thank you. I wish that there was something I could give you to express my gratitude.
Have you got any significant items from history?
Here, take this. I insist.
It's... a digital stopwatch.
That particular miracle instrument you just acquired, or rather its bigger cousin, the clock, made possible a number of scientific advancements. The connection here is to a team of French scientists in the far north. Their big breakthrough was in measuring the shape of the Earth, which wouldn't have been possible without a highly accurate clock to determine the times of their star fixes. And speaking of highly accurate, it may interest you to know that the clock known as Big Ben in the tower above London's Houses of Parliament is accurate to within 1/10 of a second.
Fascinating. Okay, so let's go and put this stopwatch where it belonged in Galileo's shrinking machine. That's the church again, so I might as well go back to the organ. Having done that, let's go back to Galileo's. Alright, so this... Not yet. This goes here. Alright. And... nope. So what do I do?
You're back.
Yes, so I am. Master of Science. So this doesn't do anything?
Not yet.
Do I... oh! That's a different location. Okay, so that slot's in there. Blink. Okay, what does that look like? That's better! Come and have a look at this!
Remarkable. Now I wouldn't have to hang upside down from the ceiling while trying to prove Copernicus's theory. Here. It's a tuna salad on rye. My favorite. You deserve it. Enjoy, enjoy.
All right.
Believe it or not,
That's my sandwich!
polythene, the stuff from which this sandwich wrap is made, is linked by a string of connections with one of the most accurate instruments ever made. But its immediate connection is by way of something you use every day. One hopes.
Alright, so what he's talking about there is the polythene's connection to soap. It's also a very good insulator, meaning that we can... maybe we can't. Where? Ah, there, okay. Great, so now we can use the shrinking machine? Curiouser and curiouser. Oh, unfortunately they didn't get a shot of Galileo from the ground, but yeah, they just retook all these pictures in the render by lowering the camera. Alright, so now we need to get into the ship in a bottle.
If you ain't got the map I asked for, you can get your sunburned hide down to the chart house and fetch it for me.
Ah, alright. Okay, there's one. How about now?
Come in!
Map.
What do I want with a map of India, you barnacled buffoon? We're in a bottle, for crying out loud. I sent you for some sort of guide to that maze of lacquer tables down below. I want out of here!
Oh, lacquered tables. Okay. Okay, so this is one of those Myst puzzles where you've got two levers, they each do... What do? This one swaps them all to the left, and this one rotates them, I think. Yeah, okay. And, it's so appalling that the hint system, just has this give up at the end of it and said press the button just to arrange the tables. So yeah, I think that we're kind of giving up a bit on the puzzles by this point, because in that very last bit, you had to just turn right, get a map, open the door, and that was it. So, okay. So, while I'm trying to rearrange these, I can tell you that the episode this part was based on is called High Times. It starts with polythene, which was used in England in World War II to insulate radar stations so they could make them smaller, and so they were harder targets for German aircraft. They honestly skipped a lot of the program for the next step, but polythene and soap, like James Burke insinuated, are both colloids and share similar chemical properties, and the director of dyeing at the Gobelin tapestry factory used the properties of soap to understand how to better dye materials for making tapestries. That factory was set up to make imitation lacquer furniture, which was to cash in on the huge demand for exotic artwork from Eastern Asia. The Netherlands also tried to cash in on that demand and made a failed attempt to find a sea route to East Asia by going north from the Netherlands because they didn't know about the polar ice cap. But they did succeed in finding this massive whaling ground, and they mapped a lot of the land in Northern Europe. So that brings us to the map. Maps were made by the publisher Christopher Plantin, whose grand work was an illustrated 8-volume director's cut extended unrated version of the Bible, which was released in 5 different languages. And that was ordered by Philip II as part of trying to reinvigorate Christianity against Martin Luther's Protestants and the things the annoying scientists of the time were coming up with their things like proof and evidence. They were finding out that the Earth wasn't the centre of the universe after all. Galileo, Copernicus, and telescopes were able to see for the first time that the moon had mountains and that Jupiter, even the moons of Jupiter, had moons around it, just with these early telescopes. Finally, the stopwatch represents George Graham's clock, which gave scientists the precision required to determine a lot of things about the moon and other planets, and to alter the shape of the Earth, using measurements from the star charts, which we also saw in the last part. So, in many ways, it's all connected. I am now James Burke, and I'm still stuck at these lagged tables. I've done it!
That little table you just picked up connects to the Gobelin tapestry works, which, as you may recall, started out making lacquer furniture. And the fact that this sort of furniture was brought back from the Far East by Dutch traders links to Henry Hudson. Thanks to the strange way history works, you've completed a chain that starts out with sandwich wrap and ends up, as I promised earlier, with that most accurate of chronometric instruments, Big Ben.
Okay, so now we can step through into, presumably, miniature Egypt. We'll go there next time.